I've probably now written maybe 100 cold opens. I will say it's cool to have been a part of this very strange, peculiar thing that is the cold open at SNL. If you go to a taping of most shows, the audience is primed. Someone has been warming them up. That audience is screaming. They're ready to go. It is the exact opposite at SNL. There's a warm-up, everyone's ready to go, and then there is like 10 minutes of jazz. It has been that way since the beginning. It is a true cold open. You are going from a ice-cold vibe in here, and if you're good as a performer and you're good as a writer at being able to get that audience laughing early on, it is a feat, let me tell you.
I don't know if you've heard this before.
We have.
But I was instrumental in taking down a man by the name of...
Bin Laden, yeah.
The original version of this board, I think, was just in Lorne's office. You can still see the 50 years of thumbtacks have worn their way in. And so this is how you found out if your sketch was cut or if it was in the show. And when you were starting out as a writer, it was like so thrilling to see that your sketch got in, or so devastating to see if it was in this column. You know, the writing staff writes at least, say, 45, 50 sketches a week. Of that, maybe 8 or 9 make the show. When you actually do get a sketch on, it's so satisfying because there's so much that can go wrong that derails it, and there's so few spots. Early on, like my first year as a writer, I think me and Brian Tucker wrote a cold open. Then somehow I just got roped in to writing so many goddamn ones of these. As a viewer, I remember also loving Not Gonna Phone It In Tonight, that Steve Martin song, which I actually almost remembered as a monologue because it had that vibe.
Live from New York! Line.
And even when you look back at the first one of Wolverines,
I would like to feed your fingertips
to
to the Wolverines.
to the Wolverines.
I always wish we could go back to that more. Like, I always wish we could have some cold opens that were just short and one idea and a funny performance. And I also remember during the OJ trial where SNL could have a cold open about OJ for like 10 weeks in a row, and there were new twists, and it was so fun.
O.J. Simpson, do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Seriously, do you?
There was a Halloween cold open that ended up being a reveal, and it was then candidate Barack Obama. You know, it was probably only my second season or something like that, but suddenly you were writing a sketch with him for Obama, which was crazy.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Ken Sublette and I wrote the Brett Kavanaugh hearing.
I'm gonna start at an 11. I'm gonna take it to about a 15 real quick.
That was really one where we wrote it Friday night. We thought of Matt Damon, and he flew through the night from San Francisco. He arrived here at like noon on Saturday. He drank 1 beer to get into character, and then he just fully became Brett Kavanaugh. And I cannot believe that all came together in less than 24 hours.
Now, I am usually an optimist. I'm a keg is half full kind of guy.
Kent, Rob Klein, and I wrote the Sean Spicer cold opens. And the first time we did it, actually, people don't realize it's Melissa McCarthy at first because she's so disappeared into the look. And then you'll notice there's like a beat, like a minute in, where everyone's like, holy shit, it's Melissa McCarthy. And there's like another wave of recognition.
So if I'm making a rundown and I'm picking a cold open,
The Katie Couric, Sarah Palin interview, I think I would put in here. And it's nostalgic for me because it was early on for me as a writer. Seth wrote it. I'm sure Tina and Amy also helped on it. It was just like a great combination of Seth and Tina and Amy together.
Also, in an effort to bone up on foreign policy, I went to the Times Square area to see a film called The Bush Doctrine. It was not about politics.
You got to see them playing off each other, and I think they're two of the best to ever do it.
Not to belabor the point, one specific thing.
Katie, I'd like to use one of my lifelines.
There were so many iconic things that came out of it.
When cornered, you become increasingly adorable.
And so, to me, that's my pick based on both nostalgia, and I think it holds up in the whole history of the show as one of the best.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
It's cool to be a part of some of these, and there's a lot of people I really admired and still admire who wrote some of these through time. I almost can't believe that I've gotten to write so many of them. Many I've blocked out, but some I am actually proud of, shockingly. I'm not gonna rewatch them, but that would ruin it.